Hello, I'm Hennein, and I'm doing my investment pitch on Chevron Corporation. Chevron is one of the largest integrated energy companies in the world. It is involved in almost every aspect of the energy industry, from exploring, producing, transporting, and refining crude oil and natural gas, to marketing petroleum products, to manufacturing and selling petrochemical products and generating power. Chevron is diversified in regards to the types of energy operations, such as crude oil, alternative energy fuel, and also mining operations. And also the value stream is further diversified in terms of geography, as they operate in over 180 countries. Chevron's worldwide exposure reduces susceptibility to unfavorable economic and political conditions in a given region or country. I recommend a 5% long position. Chevron's current price of $117.49 is trading above its 50, 100, and 200-day average. Chevron's enterprise value is around $217 billion, while its EBITDA is $48.43 billion. Last year's revenue totaled $222.58 billion, and the debt-to-equity ratio for Chevron is favorable because it's lower than the industry average, which is 0.3, meaning Chevron is financed more by equity than the industry average. Chevron's beta is 1.17, and I'll bring up their beta later on in the presentation. There are two key macroeconomic factors regarding the major integrated oil and gas industry: political tension and the state of the global economy. In the optimistic scenario, the industry wants high political tension between countries and more wars, because this increases the price of natural gas and crude oil, which increases the profit margins, which then increases the market value of Chevron. As a result, we want increased tension between the Middle Eastern countries and the Western countries, and also continued growing tension between Japan and China. Beyond political tension, as the global economy grows, the price of gas and oil also increase, because there is more consumption of energy and thus more demand for the resource. On the other hand, on the pessimistic scenario, political tension throughout the world ceases and there is a decrease in the number of wars being fought. This will reduce the price of oil and gas, and subsequently, the market value of Chevron will drop. Further, a decrease in the growth of the global economy will decrease the demand for energy and thus lower the price of energy, which will reduce the profit margins, and subsequently the market value will drop as well. A key driver for the major integrated oil and gas industry is resource availability. The optimistic scenario holds that all oil companies do not find and acquire ample amount of oil, particularly in America. This will keep supply relatively low compared to if they did find more oil. They are currently looking in areas such as Ohio and Illinois, as well as Montana and Idaho. In the pessimistic scenario, oil companies find an abundance of oil in America, and further, oil companies use improved techniques such as horizontal drilling and shale oil, which are unconventional resources that allow the obtainment of oil that is deeper into the Earth's surface, which they couldn't obtain before. This would increase the supply of oil, which would drop the price of oil. There may be a slight increase in demand due to the drop price, but this still wouldn't offset the serious hit Chevron would experience with their profit margin, which would result in a lower stock value. A key company driver for Chevron is their environment liabilities and their global reputation. Citizens of Ecuador sued Chevron in 2011 for the dumping of pollutants in the Amazon River, which affected their crops and even caused cancer when the crops were eaten by the natives. The dumping took place in the 1990s, but by a company called Conoco, which Chevron acquired later on. Now, Chevron is liable for the environmental damage and the health crisis. So now the optimistic scenario holds that Chevron does not pay the $9.5 billion fine the court imposed because Chevron has no international obligation to Ecuador, and also Ecuador does not possess any of their assets which they could hold. Also, Chevron's reputation will not be hurt in the optimistic scenario because the international community would realize that Conoco was responsible, not Chevron. For the pessimistic view, Chevron pays the $9.5 billion fine, and the international community believes that Chevron is directly responsible for the health crisis in Ecuador.